more than a quarter of a century, NASCAR has raced across the most famous yard of bricks in the world, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, for the prestigious Brickyard 400. But today, a new tradition begins as the Cup Series turns left and right at the hallowed grounds of Indy for the first time on the road course. MDK RaceDay presents the Verizon 200 at the Brickyard from the famed Indianapolis Motor Speedway in Speedway, Indiana. Weather is gorgeous here at the Speedway, temperature going to be in the mid to high 70s, 15% chance of rain, 10-mile-an-hour wind east-northeast of the racetrack with a 50% chance of humidity. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of MDK RaceDay. My name is Jett. Hope y'all having a wonderful morning. And yes, we are back once again, another episode on Indianapolis. Yesterday was a doubleheader with IndyCar and the NASCAR Xfinity Series, and on Sunday today, the Cup Series takes over for the debut of racing at Indianapolis on the road course. So let's not waste any time and jump right into it. Even though, yes, it is the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, not as big as the Brickyard 400, but still hopefully this doubleheader weekend between NASCAR and IndyCar can start a new tradition and bring some new life into Indianapolis outside of the Indy 500. So while we got that going on, we're also so focused on the playoffs and the hunt to September at Darlington, which is just 3 weeks away. Now we're going to focus on two battles. On the left side will be the regular season battle, or for the regular season top prize, which is 15 playoff points. On the right side will be the playoff grid standings, and we focus on the final spots of the top 16 points to see who will make it into the playoffs after Daytona. So let's take a look on the regular season standings. Now, for the first time, I think since maybe Talladega, or I think race 3, race 4, way early in the season, we now have a change at the top of the board, a tie between Kyle Larson and Denny Hamlin after Larson's win last weekend at Watkins Glen. However, because Larson actually has wins while Hamlin still has a big old goose egg to his wins column, Larson holds a tiebreaker. Third is Byron, minus 131, Kyle Busch, minus 138. They're still technically in contention, but more than likely it's going to come down between Larson and Hamlin. Now, for the final playoff spots, Kevin Harvick plus 95, Tyler Reddick now just has a 15-point gap ahead of his teammate Austin Dillon. Chris Buescher minus 135. Basically, if you're Buescher, DiBenedetto, Stenhouse, Bubba Wallace, Daniel Suarez, Ross Chastain, if you're any of those drivers that are behind Buescher, you're going to have to win. Regardless, it doesn't matter, you're going to have to win based on the competition, and more than likely it's going to come at Daytona. Now, Kevin Harvick plus 95. Yes, he's safe. He can, as long as we don't have a new winner, he can take a buffer here today. He can finish last and still be in the playoffs, but I don't think he wants to take that chance. He's gonna try to run as consistent as possible, gain as many stage points as he can, so he can build up that gap between him and Austin Dillon in 17th place. And now let's take a look at the starting lineup for today's Verizon 200 at the Brickyard. On the front row, look at this. William Byron becomes the very first driver to win the pole for the Cup Series at the Indy Road Course. And to his outside is Indiana native Chase Briscoe, who won here last year in the Xfinity Series. Row 2 has Hendrick drivers Chase Elliott in the 9 car and Kyle Larson in the 5. We expect them to be strong here today. Row 3, Daniel Suarez, a great run for him in the 99 car, and Martin Truex Jr., who has 4 road course wins. Row 4 has Joey Logano, win back in 2015 at Watkins Glen. AJ Allmendinger, another driver to watch out for, starts alongside in the 8th position. And right out the top 10 is Ross Chastain and Cole Custer, good run for the 41 team, and Tyler Reddick and the defending Daytona 500 champion Michael McDowell round out row 6. Row 7 has Asa Cindric, who has 5 Xfinity road course wins, including winning yesterday night, and Denny Hamlin, who has 1 road course win back at Watkins Glen in 2016. He's still looking for his first win of 2021. Row 8 has kind of teammates, Matt DiBenedetto in the 21 car and Ryan Blaney in the 12. Row 9 has Christopher Bell, who is running really good on the road courses, starts alongside Eric Almirola in the 10 car. Rounding out the top 20 is Chris Buescher and Kurt Busch, who has 1 road course win all the way back in 2011 at Sonoma. Row 11 has Kyle Busch with 4 road course wins, 2 apiece at Watkins Glen and Sonoma, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in the 47 car starts alongside. Round out the top 24 is Austin Dillon in the 3 car and Alex Bowman in the 48 car. Row 13, very shocking to see Kevin Harvick back in the 25th position. starting alongside Corey LaJoie, who has a really good qualifying run, 26th position, nice run for that 7 team. Row 14 has Bubba Wallace and Eric Jones in the 43. Row 15 has Justin Haley, who has some experience coming off of a good run running in yesterday's Xfinity race, starts alongside Ryan Preece in the 37 car. Row 16, very shocking to see Brad Keselowski, who runs pretty good on the road courses, starts 31st alongside Ryan Newman, who has 11 top 10s and 45 road course starts. Row 17 has Anthony Alfredo and James Davidson. Row 18 has Andy Lally coming off of a great 10th place finish for BJ McLeod Motorsports in yesterday's Xfinity race, starts alongside Josh Bilicki in the 52 car. And running out the final 2 rows in row 19, Cody Ware and Quinn Houff, and in row 20, Garrett Smithley and the legend himself, Timmy Hill. Now let's take a look at the odds to win today's race at the Verizon 200 at the Brickyard. Since we're at a road course, no surprise to see Chase Elliott with the best odds at plus 220. And then second best, Kyle Larson, the only driver that's been able to challenge Chase Elliott, plus 350. Then you have JGR teammates Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, and Christopher Bell next up. Truex plus 550, Busch plus 900, Hamlin plus 1100, and Christopher Bell plus 1800, alongside Austin Cindric, who won the Xfinity race yesterday. William Byron plus 2,000, AJ Allmendinger, who finished second in the Xfinity race yesterday, plus 2,500, alongside Joey Logano. Then Kevin Harvick plus 2,800, Alex Bowman, Tyler Reddick plus 3,000, Ryan Blaney and Chase Briscoe plus 3,500, and then Chastain, Brad Keselowski, Kurt Busch plus 4,000, with Matt DiBenedetto plus 4,500, and Austin Dillon, the final of the top 20 front runners, plus 7,500. So what are the expectations? What can we expect from this race? Well, let's take a look at the stages. It's an 82 lap race, 15 laps in stage 1, 20 laps in stage 2, 47 laps in stage 3. As for the racing, since we have a now, for the racing, we don't really have an idea since this is the first time, but I do expect to see a lot of pit strategy take place. Maybe some undercuts will be taking place in order to get advantage on your competitors on pit road instead of on the racetrack. There are some action spots to make a pass on the final corner, final turn in turn 15 in order to get that launch onto the long front straightaway, get a nice toe off the guy in front of you to set up for turn number 1. Or maybe that little left-hander, right-hander in turn 5 as you head down to the infield straightaway could be a great opportunity for passing opportunities and for overall action spots. We saw that yesterday in both the Xfinity and IndyCar race. A lot of action that took place on the racetrack were around the 2 straightaways. Now we talk about the drivers. What are the drivers that we can expect to perform here, or what are the drivers to look out for? Again, since we're at a road course, you gotta look at the Hendrick drivers. Now, Chase Elliott, and you gotta throw in Kyle Larson in the mix. Chase Elliott, considering the fact that yesterday in the Xfinity race, he was informed about driving the 1 car for Michael Annett on such short notice, had very little practice, very little time to really communicate with his team and crew, and really had to learn as he went along in that Xfinity race yesterday, and still managed to finish in the top 3. I think even third or 4th place he finished in yesterday's race. So he got some extra seat time, and he's already good on the road courses in general. So it wouldn't make sense for him to be a factor in this race. But also you got to throw in Kyle Larson in the mix now, since Larson's been the only driver to really challenge Chase Elliott since Elliott has been on this just godlike streak on road courses. Larson's been the only one to challenge him. Sonoma back in June, and last weekend at Watkins Glen. Now you want to talk about some drivers that could compete against those 2 drivers. You look at Toyota drivers, Christopher Bell, Kyle Busch, Truex, and Denny Hamlin. Bell has a bit of a grudge with Kyle Larson after stemming what happened last weekend at Watkins Glen, so there could be a little feud that could continue here today. But you got to look at all 4 of those drivers now, because they have shown speed on the road courses, especially Truex, Kyle Busch, and Christopher Bell, especially from how they performed last weekend at the Glen. You'll look at the Ford camp, Team Penske, Brad Keselowski, Joe Logano especially, and Austin Cindric. We know how good he can run on road courses. Won the Xfinity race yesterday, and he technically has the most experience on the road course out of majority, if not all, the drivers racing in a stock car on the Indy road course. He raced the last 2 Xfinity races on the road course at Indianapolis. So he's got a lot of experience on the Indy road course, and overall is an incredible road course racer. So although I don't think he might win the race, he's sure gonna put up a fight, as well as AJ Allmendinger. He has participated in 3 Cup Series races this season, 2 top 10 finishes, a 7th on the Daytona road course, and a 5th at Circuit of the Americas. So, and we know how good AJ Allmendinger is on road courses, so he is for sure going to be a factor in this race here today. But even with all that, I still think it's going to come down between the Hendrick drivers. I do think maybe Cindric can surprise some people. I think Truex and Christopher Bell can put up a strong fight against the Hendrick drivers. But I feel like it's going to come down between Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson. And I got Chase Elliott again. I know it's boring, annoying saying the same driver over and over again, but come on, I was so close last weekend. If Chase Elliott didn't flat spot those tires near the end of stage 2, he would have won that race. So come on, give me credit, all right? I'm going with Chase Elliott again. I want to be wrong because I want someone different, but I mean, you cannot, I mean, how, again, can you blame me for picking him again? I mean, come on, even with the amount of crap he dealt with last weekend, he still finished 2nd. That's mad impressive. So I'm going with Chase Elliott again, but I'm not as confident as I was last time. At Watkins Glen, I said for sure Chase Elliott's going to win. Now I'm not that sure. I'm not that confident. I still think he's going to win, but maybe not by much. Larson, we know how strong he can be. Joe Gibbs as a whole. Truex, Kyle Busch, and Bell. We can even throw in Hamlin in the mix. Team Penske, Austin Cindric and Joe Logano and Brad Keselowski. And don't forget AJ Allmendinger. Those are the ones that are just off the top of my head. They can put up a strong fight against the Hendrick boys, and I think this is going to be a really good race, and hopefully, like I said, can bring in some new life to the Brickyard and start a new tradition on the road course. I know it's not the same. I know a lot of the drivers, like Harvick and Hamlin, said it's not the same as the Brickyard 400, but let's be honest, the Brickyard 400 has been dead again since 2009. All right, it feels more like an obligation to go race the Brickyard 400 rather than an honor or a crown jewel race. So I'm glad for the change, glad for the mix up, and hopefully they can put on a good show for the fans and start, like I said, a new tradition running on the Indy road course. But that is gonna end this episode of MDK RaceDay, guys. Tell me in the comment section down below, who do you think is going to win? Until next time, my name is Jett. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the Verizon 200 at the Brickyard. We'll see you next time.